Hi folks, I hope you're well. Well, today I wasted some time watching a film saying God's Not Dead, In God We Trust. That was one film. And previously I watched a film, I think yesterday, called Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist. And both films, awful. Absolutely awful. I say, both films had subject matters that you could do something beautiful with. Beautiful. And yet they rested at nice. The thing they were doing nice was good enough, churchy, you would say. Yeah. Something comfortable, something nice, something that could never be offensive to anyone. And the problem is, that's not the message. If you just go by the words of Yeshua, just go by his words. Forget the words of Peter and Paul. Just go by the words of Yeshua, right? Because if it's the rise of the Antichrist, then you're talking the opposite of Christ. So if you talk about Christ and his words, he was crucified because of the things he said and did. The things he said and did were highly offensive to other people. Right? To the Jewish hierarchy, highly offensive. And yet, as I say, the same with the Chosen. Chosen is another one where they had a possibility of doing something absolutely beautiful. If they would have started the Chosen around about the beginning of Acts, or just before, they could have started it just after the Lord has returned to Father. Just after. So you could have in their minds the conversation that the Lord had with them. You could hear the Lord saying to them that I will send you the helper. And if I don't go, then you could have that. And then you start from Acts. And you start from the waiting for Pentecost. And the beauty of Acts, and you could do something phenomenal with that. Just beautiful. And then you could go after that, looking at the persecution, looking at how truly awful things were for the early church then, looking at the politics that was behind it with regards to Rome, and with regards to the Jewish situation, why they were persecuting, and look at the arguments that they made. That obviously they killed Christ because Christ was not the Messiah, yet these people are worshipping as if he was the Messiah. They're still in that, which to some would suggest that obviously Yeshua must have been the Messiah. If we're saying he wasn't, then they could have started that. The problem is where they started basically at the Gospels. But they added a ton of crap. They added stories, they added situations that did not happen biblically. Therefore, they perverted the truth in what they were doing. They could have done something beautiful. But instead of doing something beautiful, they were guided by the devil, not by God. And it's a common thing as to what happens. Well, I said Jesus Revolution, again, was another one, which they could have done something beautiful with. And then you had the other one. The one about Abraham. Again, it was a weak film. The cast wasn't very good. They didn't exactly spend much money on it. The story wasn't great. It was not well written. The acting was poor. Yeah. And again, the message could have been stronger. They could have gone back to Hagar and to the thinking that, yeah, maybe that was the situation then. Yeah, they could have gone back to that, but they didn't. They wanted to do something that was easy, where the story was simple, where it was nice. Because again, if you hit too hard with the story, people might get offended. And the problem is what these people never consider. Are they offending God in what they're doing? They don't want to offend people, but is it possible that they're offending God in what they're doing? But even if they're not, I said, you have an opportunity right now to do something beautiful. You've got people giving you money to do this. You can do something absolutely amazing, far better than the world has ever seen. We had the Passion of the Christ, right? 2004, so over 20 years ago. That was released. It was made even before then. That should be the standard. But it never was it? That should have been the standard of, okay, that was taking the story and that raised the bar. Compared to all other movies featuring Christ and crucifixion and beatings, and that kicked the shit out of the previous movies completely. Absolutely. Kicked all the previous movies into the dust. It should have been the standard, but it was not. They didn't bother. They didn't bother. They had something where they could have taken the challenge on and taken it to the next bit. God would have been there to help them. And they went for the safe path. They went for the safe path. And made the stuff they make be worth exactly what it is, which is nothing. Because that's the point. It's worth nothing. All that stuff is worth nothing. It's worthless. Because where you had the bar that was so high and you decided that, no, you want to lower it. You want to make it easier. You want to make it more simple. Yeah, it's like basically having Game of Thrones as the standard for, TV programs in the future, and then the next one makes a program that's making paper dragons. Rather than animation, proper animation, spending the money on it. They're making paper blinking dragons. And they're fighting with little bits of wood rather than swords and shields and all that lot. Yeah. That's what they've done. Compared to the Passion of the Christ, that's what they've done. They said, okay, Game of Thrones was the standard. We're going to lower it to such a degree that any Tom, Dick and Harry can go and make a movie about this. Can go and make a TV program about dragons now. And that's what they did. So the movies, they are so cheap. They're so cheaply made. The cast, I mean, one of the blokes in this one, he was, he played the devil in the one called God's Not Dead, In God We Trust. He plays the politician who goes against the preacher. But the preacher goes against him. And this actor has played the devil before. I think at least once, if not twice. He played the devil in a program called Reaper. And so, in this one, he's playing a politician who's devilish. Well, really? Come on. You find people who play these sort of characters and these sort of roles all the time. What are you doing? On YouTube, there was a video the other day about actors who have given their lives to God. They didn't seem to get any of those, did they? Well, then why not? Why are they not getting any of those? You've got these good actors. Yeah, one being, what's it called? Tom Cruise. No, not Tom Cruise. Not Tom Cruise. What's his name? The one who did, he did the one where he was on a desert island with the football. He did the one where he was the one with the mental issues but running all the time. Box of chocolates, that one. That actor, he's given his life to God, well, apparently. So could they get him to do it? No. No, they can't get him. Or any of the others. They get these level G actors. No. Well, it's, again, the chosen. So if you want to add stuff and you're starting from X, people will understand that. Because obviously a damn sight more happened at that time than we see. And you're not mucking around with the words of Yeshua, are you? But in The Chosen, they mucked around with the story of Yeshua. Ugh. Yeah. I would love to them to do from Acts anyway, because there's been loads of people I've met who believe that we were supposed to continue from Acts. Yeah, lovely. Go and watch something made about Acts and see the persecution, see what those people went through, and then decide if you really want to carry on from where they left off. Because the answer is no, you bloody well don't. Of course you don't. It was hard then. The people involved in the church at that point in time were involved because they truly believed in it. So yeah, in the end, there you go. I'm going to leave it to it. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.